Caught Fingering at the Guesthouse, Book 2. Written by Laura Vixen. Narrated by T.K. Love. The thrill of sex still lingered on Alicia's body, and she could barely believe the events of the last couple of hours. When the door of her room opened to reveal the guest house owners, she was mortified at being caught masturbating, but the threesome fun it led to with an older couple made her glad it happened. It was now more than 30 minutes since they left the room, but the 18-year girl still lay on her bed thinking about the sex. The cum stains were hardening onto her skin, and she finally decided it was time to have a shower. When she got up, the sensation of more cum trickling down her thighs caught her attention, and she grinned as she looked down. She made a mental note to get some morning after pills when she returned home the next day. The thought of explaining an unwanted pregnancy to her parents filled her with dread, and she wanted to make sure it didn't happen. The sticky feeling between her thighs as she walked to the bathroom kept the thought of sex on her mind, but she started to wash it away as she got in the shower cubicle and turned on the water. She pulled her pussy lips open to let the last of the cum slide out and cleaned herself. Straightening up, she remained under the pounding jets for a little longer before finally switching the water off and getting out to dry herself. Moving back to the bedroom, she searched in her bag for a fresh pair of panties and slipped them on. The matching bra was next, and she worked the cups on her breasts until she was comfortable. Looking at her watch, she saw it was now 1 in the afternoon. If they were true to form, her parents would be gone until early evening, and she suspected they wouldn't be back until 5 or 6 o'clock. The grin spread across Alicia's face as she remembered her last comment about Lucas and Josie corrupting her some more. With 4 or 5 hours until her parents returned, there was plenty of time for it to happen, and she wanted to make sure they knew she was interested. Searching through her bag, she found her miniskirt and rolled the hemline to make it shorter still. She fixed the hem in place with a couple of safety pins, and when she pulled the skirt on, saw just how high it was sitting on her thighs. A cropped t-shirt finished the look and left a little of her top midriff on show. Alicia knew the look was bordering on slutty, but couldn't help smiling as she looked at herself in the mirror. "Time for some more fun," she said quietly as she walked to the door of the room and let herself out. She made her way down the stairs and heard the sound of voices coming from the kitchen. When she reached the door, the eyes turned to her, and she saw the look that passed between the couple. "Are you hungry?" Josie asked. She walked to the door and put an arm around the teen girl's shoulder to guide her to the kitchen table. "I thought it was just breakfast you served," Alicia replied. "That's for the regular guests," Josie went on with a grin. Well, let's say you are special and we will make an extra effort for you." "Something to eat would be nice," Alicia went on. "Get to it, Lucas," Josie shouted with a grin and sat down at the table. "Is scrambled eggs and toast okay?" he asked. "Sure," answered Alicia. "That would be great." "But coffee first, darling," Josie teased, "and 2 sugars in mine." Lucas shook his head. "Who voted me the slave boy for today?" he asked. Josie's arm shot up, and when she winked across the table, the teen girl put her hand up also. "Oh, ha, the older man said, deadpanned, as he shook his head again. He turned to pour a couple of cups of coffee from the pot and took it over to the table with some milk and sugar. "Are you sure you can put the sugar in yourselves?" he joked when he set the tray down. "Yes, slave boy," Josie shot back. "We'll manage, so get cooking." Lucas moved back to the kitchen counter to prepare the food and left the 2 women chatting. "So, are there any other guests here?" Alicia asked. Josie shook her head. "Nope, just you and your parents," she answered. "But just me at the moment," the teen girl went on with a grin. "Just you and an incredibly short skirt," Josie teased as her gaze dropped down. "Such smooth skin, too," she went on, and the goosebumps rose on Alicia's thighs as the fingertips stroked along them. She watched as the touch neared the hem of the skirt and held her breath. Josie seemed content just touching on the soft skin, though, and when she reached the hem, moved the touch lower again. Alicia's pulse raced a little, but the hands finally lifted from her legs and she reached for her coffee to take a sip. "Are you planning to corrupt me again?" Josie smiled. "Aren't your parents due back?" she asked. Alicia returned the smile as she answered. "I think it will still be a few hours yet before they get back. They tend to get caught up in their sightseeing trips and don't usually return from them until early evening." "Do you hear that, Lucas?" Josie yelled.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?